Anxious attachment. We all know what it means and how horrible it is to be an anxious person. And this is actually what I've been through and how I went from this anxious attachment type to become a secure. And this is video today is going to be about that. The exact steps that I took to become a secure person, an exact moment when everything changed. Honestly, it was just one moment, and if I knew what I know right now, I could save years. And this video, I hope, will save you really a lot of years and months being in this being in this anxious feeling, anxious state. And instead of being that, you will become secure, you will become confident, and you will feel and live your perfect, secure, calm, safe life. Actually, I decided to record this video even though that normally I record content on marketing, on how to grow your business, how to scale your companies, and this is actually what I do for a living. But I noticed as an entrepreneur that it's really hard for women to actually combine work, business with all these constant thoughts that we have when we are anxious attachment type, an anxious attachment person. So in order to actually help not only women who are actually feeling that, but also especially women who are in business or building a thriving career and really wanting to do something extra in life, but sometimes they feel caught in this vicious circle of thinking, overthinking, worrying, being anxious. I've been there. Like, I remember days when, for example, I had a really important project, but I couldn't do anything except thinking of the messages of my man, of my partner, or what was happening between us like recently. And right now, of course, we still do have fights and we still do have discussions. We call it like this. It's not really a fight. We've never been emotional. We just sometimes have disagreements, but next day I feel super secure. I don't have any feeling like I'm gonna be left or I'm gonna be abandoned or rejected or there's gonna be a breakup or whatever. I don't have any thoughts that I'm less loved. I have no tendency to actually try to resolve this issue quickly. I don't try to be like writing, texting, making sure, seeking for assurance or confirmation, validation, stuff like that, that I did many times in the past, and that was the main thing that I've been doing. And actually there is a real reason behind that led me to a lot of really bad and toxic relationship as well, but also almost ruined my current healthy relationship, because my current partner is like really secure partner, and it still led me to make this partner to be more into avoidant type from secure, by the way. And actually this led me to be like really not confident in myself. But the good news, it's possible to overcome. So today we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to tell you exactly how actually I managed to do that. So probably if you're watching this video, first, how to understand that you are in your anxiety era and how to actually exit this era and start to go into the next one chapter where you're safe, where you feel confident, where you feel detached, where you feel yourself, where you feel really like worthy of all and don't really worry. So actually the real thing that happened to me when actually I understood that there's time to change is understanding that I am an anxious type of person, that I'm anxious attached person. So basically you have to really answer to this question: am I actually anxious? Am I anxiously attached person? So basically how to understand that you are. First and the foremost, most important, I would say, like a criteria to understand that you are anxious attached person, the first main signal, main flag of that fact that you are anxiously attached person is definitely the fact that you are scared to lose relationship. You are scared to lose the partner and to be with this actually loss that will be like coming to you without any warning. I mean, it's normal that people are caring of their relationship and they don't want to lose their relationship. It's different when you are thinking like, okay, of course I care of this person, I'm caring of our relationship, I don't want to lose our relationship, so I will do my best in order to keep them like strong and work on them. This is the first, and that's okay. But it's not okay when you are like scared subconsciously all the time of losing for no reason. Like you're feeling that it can happen to you. It's not like you are amicably deciding to finish relationship, or you are understanding like, okay, it can happen that we would have different values in the future, or maybe something will happen, so yeah, we will separate. This is not what I want, but okay, I accept this reality. But anxiously attached person is the person who is like shaking from the feeling that it can happen, and obviously thinking that it will happen to him or to her. Not like people will decide to finish relationship, or like couple will separate amicably, mutually deciding that. It's more about feeling that this can happen somehow without your influence, and you are sitting and scared that this will happen to you. So it's like another person has the power over you, over your feelings, over your life, over everything. So this is the, I would say, the crucial part of it, because I had this really many times. I had several serious relationships that been like each around like 1-2 years, but the one that I will refer to, like those two, I will refer the most. So the one that I had that was like super toxic relationship, it was like 2.5 years. It was like a really bad type of relationship, abusive relationship, where I was totally losing myself. I was looking like seriously always playing without any power. I lost all my income. I started to be totally dependent. Even that I was always entrepreneurial person with a lot of ambitions, I became like seriously like a gray version of myself. And I let myself to go so deep just for one reason. I was having the huge fear to lose this relationship. So actually this fear let me be influenced by this person and manipulated by this person, because I was like seriously was ready to do everything just to keep this relationship going. So every time when everything was getting worse and worse, like this idea of like, okay, if you don't do what I say to you to do, like probably we will not be together. So this phrase, this type of manipulations, they've been like scaring me to death. And obviously I was like more and more betraying myself. So basically that was one of the biggest reasons why in the end I end up in the really horrible relationship. Like luckily they finished, really did some work on myself, and even though it was super hard, I went out from this relationship. Even though I had like lost a lot of money, like around 150,000 euro I lost in this relationship, because it was like, well, dirty and ugly story. Maybe I will tell you later in next videos, but yeah, so actually I was stolen. And that's okay, that's life, that happens. It was my price to become free. And after that I met a wonderful person that currently I'm in a relationship with, my partner, like amazing man, amazing person. And the first year I also had this fear, like, I mean, of course you cannot heal immediately, so I kept having this fear of losing the relationship. And actually this fear itself was like letting me ruin this relationship in a way that I was really always on the urge of losing them, just because how I behaved. About this I will talk a little bit later. So this is the main criteria. The second criteria, that you are anxiously attached, you're always overthinking your texts. For example, you write something, then you come back to the text and you're like, okay, they write it right, or okay, was it wrong, or okay, maybe change, edit, delete, send again, delete. I mean, this is horrible. So if you do this, okay, you are there. Another one is like you're playing and trying to overthink what will happen and all your moves, like, okay, today is a Saturday, normally on Saturday he's busy, but maybe Sunday we can meet, okay, maybe not, and stuff like that. So you're like playing in all these schemes, all this like super controlling stuff inside your head. You're trying to understand if you did this right or wrong, and it will take you ages actually to think of that. And in the end everything will not be happening how you want, and you feel like really bad feeling in stomach, and you feel like, oh my goodness, everything is horrible. You will feel really like bad. So your mood is going to be dependent on the fact if you go out this Saturday or not, if you go out this evening or not. Then another really big flag that you are here, big signal that you are here, is the fact that actually you cannot really relax and do anything in your life like happily unless you are with this person, or unless you get some validation from this person. So for example, you are like, I don't know, having your day, and like you didn't talk at all. And if you didn't talk, good morning, good night, maybe like few hours will be fine, but then you start to like, oh, but what's happening, what's going on, like where is he, why he doesn't write me, la la la. And then he writes good morning baby, and you're like, oh okay. So you start to be like feeling like amazing again, and you start to be motivated, etc. Obviously your work, your lifestyle, your happiness, your calmness depends on this. And it's really crazy. Of course, you're overthinking a lot about what he will think about this action, this. So it's like, even if you go, I don't know, a normal walk, you would do like crazy makeup, you would like try to look the best, you would think of how to be right, say right, etc. And if something's going wrong, for example, you ask for something, but he like say no, oh my god, it's going to be a big drama. You think, oh my god, what I did. So obviously you would also probably compare yourself to other couples, you would compare yourself to other women, you would compare yourself and your relationship. So it's a trap in a way, because you are definitely not relaxed and not feeling happy. Same time, like you really want this relationship, so you're not leaving, but because you are yourself in this mental jail in your head, you are actually stuck so much that in the end, like, you are not going nowhere from this, because you're scared to lose it, but same time you're unhappy in this, so you're comparing yourself to others, etc. And the guy all this time is like, still, for him nothing's happening. Like, maybe like if you in a good relationship, he loves you like all this time, same. And sometimes when you become too anxious, he's like, oh, okay, leaning back a little bit. And if actually maybe he's like more or less indifferent in this normal anxious attachment, depends, sometimes you really attract super indifferent guy as well, so he is always same indifferent, and you're like creating the story. So the fact is that doesn't matter if actually this is the relationship to save, because in majority of time it is, like 80% of times it's just you making drama for no reason. Or in 20% of times, and it was my first case, it's not for saving, it's just for leaving. Doesn't matter what it is, you need to start with yourself, because this will make you clarity, this will actually make you feel calm, and this will help you to understand, okay, this is actually the right like solution for me, either to leave or to go. But first you have to fix your anxious attachment, because then even if you stay, you will be happy, even if you go, you will be happy, and you will have the clarity to stay or to go. Because first you will really understand yourself, because when you have this anxious attachment, you don't understand yourself, you are like this mess, and you cannot even get through this mess to listen to your internal voice. It's just so far away, it's just so deep down behind all this like drama and all these thoughts and all this mental gum that you have, and they're chewing this mental gum, which is like going to be making you very tired with time. So basically, now steps. Okay, so the most important thing that helped me after a situation that happened in my current relationship, it was the moment when I understood, like, either I change or we will not be together anymore, because that was already like serious. And one day we had like a really like strong, like, I would say not discussion, but like conversation, where we really like talk many hours. And he just said to me like, look, you're amazing, I love you a lot, I care of you a lot, but seriously, like, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing my business, and I cannot do another job of like confirming you all the time, like about my feelings about us, and dealing with all this like thoughts and anxious, etc. So I want to see the adult woman close to me, and it's like I'm not ready to be a father for an adult girl. And that was painful. Okay, it was super painful. It was like, seriously, I just didn't have any words, because yes, we could say, oh, but he's like, like a lot of women would say this, that like they don't want to hear this, and they would try immediately to accuse the guy of saying something bad. But I didn't. I just like really opened my ears and say, okay, I know this person, I know who he is, and I want to understand his opinion. Yeah, if I care of him, if I really truly love him, why I have to think that he's saying something wrong? And this is important. Like if your partner is giving you this type of feedback, this is a big trend in the socials that people say, oh, he's like a narcissist, he's an abuser, la la la, blah blah blah. But the fact is that, seriously, if you choose this person, like why you, the first thing you say is like his opinion is wrong. The first thing you want this person, you are like, you know, catching, like you're like really trying to be like, oh, like you're holding to that person. Seriously, you don't want to go, you don't want to let it go, and same time you don't want to listen to him. So why the hell you are then with the person that is someone that you don't want to listen to, that you don't respect his opinion, that you don't think that he is wishing the best for you? That's the question. So either you listen to him and you basically trying to actually get this feedback from the man that you are with, because you have to respect the man that you are with. The most important thing, you have to respect your partner, and your partner has to respect you. But if you're always in this drama queen, la la la, partner will not respect you. And that's what really I understood. And thankfully, like early enough, now I'm like in my like 29, soon coming 30, and I'm so happy that I understand this now. I understood this before actually I really like become already like more than 30, because actually this is really changing life. Because my 20s, all my 20s, I left, I actually was living in this like vicious circle of drama, and seriously, this is not what I wished. But if you're already like after your 30s, it's okay, it doesn't matter. It's important to stop it right now. Like more years you will have without this, better for you. So you have to stop it right now. So if your man is giving you this feedback, try to listen to this and think if it's really true. Because sometimes it's true, it's right, that there are like toxic men who will tell you, oh, again, another drama, la la la. But you know, the fact is that, yes, it could be this type of toxic man, but then even if you are trying to really listen to this feedback and really trying to grow up, and when you will grow up, you will see if that was right or if that was actually an accusation that didn't have nothing to do with, you know what I mean? But definitely, if it's happening to you, you have to grow from any point of view, because even if it's you who is really not like seeing the reality here and having this anxiety for no reason, or even if it's him like not being supportive, growing up and really taking care of yourself first and becoming a mature will help you to see the truth, will help you to have this clarity. How happened in my case? So I really saw the clarity that I was really like just over the place, and instead of being really like calm and adult and trusting my man, I was like really just losing time. But it's more easy to say than do. So now we're going to talk about actions, what you have to do. So the moment that helped me a lot is, yes, first to understand that it's about anxiety, it's anxious attachment. Okay, that's the first one. Second, to understand that anxiety happens when you are trying to control things that is out of your control, instead of being busy controlling your own life. So basically, you're trying to control another person, you're trying to control the future, you're trying to control emotions, you're trying to control everyone, baby, except of you. And when you are like, okay, wait, but I really do want to control, I have this necessity like to control. The fact is that you can't control yourself and not your emotions, because controlling your emotions, it's like controlling the weather, you know, like you have to control the reason of emotions. What I mean by that, you have to control the thoughts, because emotions are the consequences of the thoughts. So because if you will have these thoughts like, oh my god, I'm going to stay alone, and of course you will have emotions. It's a physical response to your thoughts. But if you will have control of your thoughts, you will not have emotions coming up to you, because your thoughts will be calm. So actually, the first thing I understood is, yes, that I'm anxious attachment. The second one is to actually make a decision. It's the step plan for you. Make a decision that I want to be an adult woman. Adult woman is capable of controlling her thoughts and not cry like a baby, or not going deep into like a baby mood, because actually babies, they don't have ability to control themselves. They don't have this ability to control their emotions. So they cry, they say, mama, I want na mama, and they cry and cry and cry, because for them the feelings that they have, they are too much and they don't know how to deal with them. And normally mom or dad, parents, they have to help the child to regulate the emotions. So they come and they say, and by their calmness they show to the child that it's okay to have these feelings. And it doesn't mean having this feeling inside there is a reason to show this, or even if you show this, there is a reason to go deeper into this. So basically, for example, when child feels something, the parent in the childhood has to show that that's okay. That's okay to have this feeling, and how to deal with this feeling, how to deal with your thoughts at this moment. But if parents didn't teach the child this, or they've been emotional themselves, child actually didn't get this mechanism of self-regulation. So basically you are like this grown-up child, and I've been this grown-up child who has all these overwhelming emotions that seriously, like, you cannot really deal with them because there's so much, and you are like crying over them, and you indulge into these emotions, and the most important, into these thoughts. So imagining myself in this, like a big crying baby in the angle, sitting and no, he will not write me, or will write me, I don't know what to do, la la la, oh my god, I'm so scared. When I like really made this image of myself, I like felt sick. Like, I don't want to be that. I want to be the woman that my man is really proud of, like the partner he's proud to show to his friends, the partner that he's really proud to do business together with, the partner that he really wants to keep going a long way together with, because he's a successful entrepreneur, and I want him to be proud of me because I'm an entrepreneur too, and quite successful as well. But in this particular situation, I lose my identity. I become someone else, like a child. So thinking that I am not here to be a child, but I'm here to be an adult woman, I made a decision to not identify myself any longer with this anxious person. I created a different identity for myself that was about me being like adult and responsible and mature. And every time when like since that moment, like I remember this day when I decided to do this. And after that, of course, there have been triggering situations when my emotions been like my feelings my thoughts and I was like, what this era, my name is Era obviously, what this era of this point B version would do. What this Irina would do. She would do this, like my point B, my like magnificent, amazing woman that I respect, that I'm proud of, this version of me that I would like to be. Would she be actually thinking that of my man, of our relationship? Doesn't she trust him enough to have all these thoughts and all this anxiety, etc., etc.? So, or doesn't she trust herself enough, her beauty, brain, confidence, self-worth, to indulge into these thoughts? When actually I like imagine this version of myself, this magnificent woman, this super powerful, super confident, immediately it's hard to keep thinking what you planned to think, you know what I mean? So my identity split into this old version of me and new version of me. And every time when I had these thoughts, I just learned to notice these thoughts, like, okay, like anxiety thoughts comes. And I just, in my mind, said, okay, these thoughts of this another version, I'm not longer this version. So these thoughts are like, just, I don't want these thoughts. How this another person would think. And I consciously was changing my thoughts to be like this another version. What could help as well? You can find the woman that actually having this image that you are like looking to. For example, some entrepreneurial women, someone from industry that you really like admire, and try to imagine her, especially if you like watch a lot of content of this particular girl. Try to imagine, would she do this? Would she do this? Something like that. For example, we have actually the couple. They're both entrepreneurs. I was always relating to the woman in this couple. Would she do this? I was thinking like, if this is something she would do, no, probably no, like definitely no. How she would respond to this situation, how she would be behaving. And this was helping me a lot to change my behavior in this moment. And then magic happens, right? You start to have different habits in thinking. And you're not longer this another version of you, like the one that is in victim mode, like in this crying mode, in this anxious mode. Slowly, day by day, you turn into totally new version of yourself, and you no longer remember this another version of yours. If I'm honest, it took me around 4 or 5 months to totally get rid of these thoughts. Like already after like 1 month, I was feeling like really much better of this practice every day doing this. After 1 month, I was already like feeling very, very good, but sometimes still could get triggered. Still, seriously, I think I started to do this in September, I remember, and already like in March, April, I was like totally brand new person. After 1 year, like since 1 year after that, I was totally healthy. So if I would say that it's going to be fast, at some point, yes, you will see immediate results when you will start practicing this. You will see immediate results like next weeks, but it will not be so concrete and so strong like after 1 year. After 1 year, you will not recognize yourself. Of course, there are a lot of advice that I also agree to, that you have to create your own life, that you have to have a lot of hobbies, that you have to make yourself busy, la la la. You have to be very like, be happy about your everyday errands, etc. But I did all this also before, but I still was anxious. So I was going to spa and super anxious in the spa. I was doing like tennis and super anxious in tennis, and all the stuff was like still not working that well before this situation. So after that, I actually had a really hard working period when I was working a lot and didn't have that many hobbies, didn't have so many friends. I was more in like my building lonely, building empire era, and still. And actually also we didn't see that much of each other because both of us have been in this era, and like normally we live in Dubai, but that time my partner, he was traveling a lot to US, like he was going there, coming back to Dubai. It was like hard period in terms of how many times we saw each other. We've been in distance, and normally being anxious in distance, much worse. But here it was totally fine, like even though we sometimes couldn't talk so much because like 12 hours of difference, that's not easy, and then jet lag and stuff like that. But that was totally fine because I already created new identity of myself as a successful entrepreneur, as a woman that really controlling her emotions, thoughts, and the one that is like really totally different. And like slowly, day by day, I just matched in my mind with this real version that I created. That was the main tool that helped actually to understand that you are not a baby, like to really see this behavior as a childish behavior. I know you're not, it's not your fault. I mean, of course, it's not about claiming you that you're like guilty or blaming you or stigmatizing you. No, it's not about that. Of course, you're right to have these emotions. You're okay to feel this way, and it's fine that you felt this way, but it's not bringing you nowhere, and it make you feel suffer. So why then to actually keep going into this? It's not like making you any better. So you don't become this, like I would say, an emotional person any longer. You still have these emotions, you just don't indulge into them. You don't indulge into these thoughts because you are like identifying yourself not with a child who cannot control emotions and thoughts, but you start to identify yourself with a woman that is choosing other priorities in her life, prioritizing her peace, prioritizing her hobbies. Anyways, guys, let me know if this video was really useful for you, because I never had intention to make a channel on relationship or stuff like that, because that was for me the most difficult topic in my life. I'm pretty good in building businesses and scaling them, but this topic was quite of, I would say, a challenge. But recently, since we moved to this apartment, I was always sitting like, I really want to make this video. I really have this urge to share. I mean, it's not something that I want to make my company or business around. This is more like a hobby for me to share this stuff. It's more like a passion just to share stuff with you, because for me it was a long journey, and I feel that now I'm close to the feeling where I can say that I know what is working. Of course, it's like for everyone is a personal thing, and I know what's working for me because I've been through a lot, and I know like what helped to me. So it's more about sharing my personal journey, my personal experience, and I hope it will be useful for someone. I'm not like here a guru saying what to do and what not to do, or like stuff like that, because of course obviously everyone is unique, every case is like different, but definitely I have this big passion to share what helped in my case, and I hope that you will find this useful and valuable for you, and that will help to change at least something in your life. And yeah, if this was a nice video for you guys, then just write me in the comments. For me, it means a lot to keep going with that. And of course, subscribe to the channel for new updates. So see you the next one. Bye bye.